Let's suppose I'm a fisherman, and I want to categorize the size of fish that I catch. I know for a fact that the smallest fish I can catch is 1 foot long, but there is no maximum size for how big the fish I catch can be. So, I set up a few bins to throw the fish into. Let's say 5 for this example. I start to fish for a while, and I've got a pretty good system set up for how the fish are divided. But, oh no, I've just caught a fish that is significantly bigger than any of the other fish I've caught already. So what do I do in this situation? Should I reorganize the fish I already have, or add more categories for bigger fish? This is the basis for the extreme demon problem, one of the biggest dilemmas plaguing the Geometry Dash community. Extreme demons are the hardest tier of difficulty in Geometry Dash, but as harder and harder levels get verified, we run into a problem. Should these levels at the peak of difficulty be considered in the same difficulty tier as some of the easiest extreme demons in the game? To show how absurd the difference in difficulty between entry-level extremes and the top levels in the game, let's do a quick comparison. On the left side of the screen, we have one of the most iconic extreme demons in the game, and on the right side, we have a much more recently released extreme demon. The one on the left is Accu, an entry-level extreme demon, while the one on the right is Spectre, a current top 10 on the list of hardest levels currently in the game. These two levels are clearly not the same difficulty. So why are we still categorizing them as such? The answer lies in the current rating system. Geometry Dash levels are usually categorized between 1 and 10 star difficulty, with 1 star being levels that may often require literally 0 inputs, and 10 star being demon levels. But demon levels eventually got so broad in difficulty that they had to be broken up into 5 subcategories to better distribute the levels: easy, medium, hard, insane, and extreme. But we've once again run into the problem where levels in the top tier of difficulty are becoming way too broad for us to categorize in a single tier. In this video, I'd like to delve a little further into this issue by exploring the tools we currently use to mitigate this problem, some commonly proposed solutions, and finally, my solution, which I believe to be the best. So, let's begin. Because extreme demons differ in difficulty on such a large scale, there are 3 main methods I'm personally familiar with that the community has developed to make finding levels at specific difficulties easier. These being the demon ladder, the non-list-worthy extremes list, and the all-rated extremes list. These are just the ones I'm familiar with, so these are the ones that this video is going to focus on. Let's start with the demon ladder. If you've been on this channel before, you probably know about this one. It ranks every demon level from easy to extreme in the tier system. Tiers 1 through 20 are dedicated to easy through insane demons, with the final 15 tiers being dedicated to extreme demons. I like this system a lot. Not only does it fix the issue of finding extremes in specific difficulty ranges, it also doubles as a tool for newer players to climb through easier demon levels. But it is a fix, not a solution. The demon ladder is encountering the same problem we have in our fishing example. When levels get too hard, are they going to reorganize the tiers they have or add more tiers? The main takeaway for the demon ladder is that it's a phenomenal tool for anyone looking for more levels to play, but don't use it as your only tool for finding levels, which leads us into the next tool, the non-list-worthy extremes list. The name is a little confusing if you're not familiar with Geometry Dash, so let me give a little more background. Geometry Dash has a leaderboard of the top 150 hardest levels of the game, being ranked and moderated by the community. This is known as the demon list. And what the non-list-worthy extremes list does is rank the extreme demons that don't fall in the top 150 hardest levels. This system is probably the best solution we currently have. There are several tiers of difficulty for you to find levels in, with descriptions of the levels and skill sets. Once they recognize that levels that fall off the top 150 are getting too difficult, they'll add new tiers to the top to separate them from the previous levels. But this lands us exactly where we were at the start. New tiers have to get added constantly for the list to keep up with the difficulty of the game. Finally, we have the all-rated extremes list. This one is the most straightforward. It tries to rank every extreme demon in terms of difficulty. This system is theoretically the best, but we know for a fact that levels are too subjective to rank in such a large scale. Like, the demon list has a hard enough time ranking the top 150. Ranking every extreme is significantly more difficult. I say that, but I do think this is still a useful tool. It can be nice to have a rough idea of what the gap in difficulty is between 2 levels, strictly based off the rank. Okay, now that we've looked at all 3 of the current solutions, we can start to form a basis of how many others would solve the extreme demon problem. Like with these examples I've shown, many of the solutions we've developed have been adding new tiers to the game to solve the insane range of how hard extreme demons are. The most popular solution that I've seen online is to simply add either more demon difficulties past extreme demons, or add a sub-tier of extremes to separate difficulties. This would be a good temporary fix. It allows for us to determine how hard levels are without running these elaborate spreadsheets and makes progression feel more smooth. But that's just what it is, a temporary fix. Let's suppose we implement this solution. A few years down the road, we're going to be right back where we started. New, even harder levels will come out that make the current ranking system obsolete and require more tiers. Like in our fishing example, we'll need to add more bins. But with that example, I also asked if we should reorganize the bins we currently have based on the new fish being caught. This would be us reorganizing the current demon structure to move the difficulty downward. This is the absolute worst idea we could implement. If we start to make borderline extreme demons as medium demons, people will quickly start to lose faith in the progression system of this game. We want to ensure that players still feel like they're progressing even when the ceiling keeps climbing higher and higher. So, what is the true solution here? After looking at how the community has tried to solve the extreme demon problem, there's a common through line. Each tool has continuously made new tiers to increase the accuracy as the ceiling increases. But the main reason this is unfavorable is because it's a manual process of adding more tiers. So, what if we made it automatic? What if we made a system where tiers updated with the number of extreme demons in the game so that we never have a cap in what tier levels can be in? Let's go back to our fishing analogy. Let's say after we catch 10 fish, we get a new bin. We can place the bin any way we want in the order from smallest to largest and reorganize slightly if necessary. This is how we solve the problem. Let's say after some number of extreme demons get raided, we add a new maximum tier to the game. There are currently 1,182 extreme demons as of writing this script, so let's just round that up to 1,200. That would give us 24 tiers to work with, which sounds like quite a lot until you remember the scale we're dealing with. We need to rank all extreme demons from Mystic Bounds to Tidal Wave. This system allows for users to rate levels based on their own difficulty opinions, so levels would naturally fall into reasonable positions over time. But there is one glaring problem with this. If a new tier gets added, giving us tier 25 in this instance, Tidal Wave will no longer be in that top tier. So how do we readjust levels when new tiers get added? If the number of tiers of levels change in the future, we can easily modulate it to make any level adjusted to the new scale. Let's take a tier 15 level. On the old scale, it was tier 15 out of 24. But that's not entirely true. If the voting system takes the average votes, we'll probably end up with a decimal sometime. So in this example, we can say it's 15.2. So when we update to the new scale, all we have to do is divide the current rating by the maximum. In this case, 15.2 divided by 24. Then we multiply that number by our new scale. So 15.2 divided by 24, and then multiply that by 25. That gives us a newly adjusted rating of around 15.83. So this would make a tangible difference in how difficult the level appears on the rating scale, but not by a drastic amount. But personally, this raises another concern in the internal storage of ratings. Usually ratings are done in discrete whole numbers so that you don't have to store a ton of data in the form of long variables, decimals. But I do have a suggestion to fix that as well. Instead of storing every vote as the adjusted rating system, we only need to use two values. Let's store the current rating as a long variable and the number of total votes as a short variable internally. Now we move along to the next time someone rates a level. We can take an adjusted mean of these numbers to get the newly expected rating. Using our 15.83 from before, let's say that there have been 5 votes on the level until now. Here comes along the next person to vote on it, and they give the level a rating of 15. So now we can multiply the original score of 15.83 by the old number of votes, being 5, and add that all to the new rating being 15. Then divide that number by the new total number of votes being 6, and ta-da! The weighted average of 15.69 is the new tier value. Nice. A lot of that information probably wasn't super necessary for understanding the core concept of why the system works, but I would hope it helps to make it easier for implementation. I'm also not sure how RobTop stores data in the servers, so this might be what he does already and it might just be entirely useless. It's not enough to have just a theoretical system, we also need to make sure it works practically, which is why I believe this works better than a lot of the solutions we currently have. The extreme demon problem is only going to get worse from here on out. The fixes we're currently using are good, but won't be able to keep us going forever. The only true way to fix this issue is an in-game rating system that adapts to the demands of the ever-increasing difficulty ceiling. This solution is something I came up with to solve this problem, but I recognize it may not be perfect. If you have any suggestions on how to improve this, please let me know in the comments. And on that note, I haven't seen anyone suggest anything like this before, so if someone has come up with this idea before and I'm just not aware of it, also let me know that, so I can add it to the description of this video for proper credit. Thanks for watching this far into the video. I don't usually make this kind of content on this channel, but this was a topic that I felt like hadn't fully been explored. So if you want more of this kind of discussion video, like the video or leave a comment. So yeah, hope you enjoyed and see you all in the next one.